Both microphones are working. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Saturday Night Jaw Harp Live, where we are playing jaw harp and jaw harp style musical instruments from around the world. I'm going to start over in Russia. In Russia, they refer to this as the vargon. And we're drinking some loose leaf tea we made today. Ooh, what note is that? Is that an F2? Boxcar Bet says, howdy, Jamie. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday back at you. How are you? How are you doing, Boxcar Bets? It's been a couple days since I spoke with you. Just started a new series. I'm building a jaw harp. Shot part of it yesterday, about the first 40 minutes of I worked on a harp for a little over an hour. And it's going to be like maybe 10, 12, 15 parts where I'm going to go through from start to finish and build a harp. I began combining. Every Friday I try to shoot jaw harp content, but I also want to build jaw harps. And most of the time I spend so much time on jaw harp content, I don't actually get around to building. So I'm going to start combining the two. Bailey 1968 says, hi from Abington. Hi from Kansas. Shyla says, got my first jaw harp today. Oh, cool, Shyla. What kind of a jaw harp did you get? Oh, Privyet, welcome. We have some people chiming in, seeing things happen on the screen in Cyrillic. I can't read the Cyrillic, but welcome and Privyet. Let's go on over to, man, I've really been congested these past couple days. Oh, Boxcar Bet's liking the Jaw Harp Johnson. Yeah, I thought that might be one that you might like. We'll go on over to India. This is referred to as the Morsing. Now, in India, they have Morchung in Rajasthan, and in Tamil Nadu, in the southern part of India, you have what's referred to as Morsing. Caesar's Catering and Eventos Cafe says, hello, sir. We say hello, hi from Peru. Oh, hello and welcome. Let's see, Peru. Is that southern hemisphere? Are you guys in summertime right now? What's the weather like in Peru? FJ Coburn 408 says, are you ever afraid of chipping your teeth? I have been scared before plucking outward, and I hit a Glazerin star and pulled it away from my teeth. It went whack and smacked myself in the teeth with the frame. I was frightened that I might have chipped a tooth. I've done that maybe 2 to 3 times in my life. Have not chipped a tooth. The only tooth chipping I've had happen in my life, knock on wood, was on a trampoline twice in my life. I chipped, is it this tooth? Just barely. Jealous of the Wave Glazerin. Oh, the Glazerin Wave. Yeah, they're really sensitive harps. I hope you enjoy it. Caesar's Catering and Eventos Cafe says, really hot summertime. Oh, yeah, that's a stark contrast to here in Kansas. We have snow on the ground, and we have blowing wind. I don't know, it's probably maybe 15 degrees outside. 15 Fahrenheit, which is who knows what in Celsius. Comment below if you know in Celsius what that is. Caesar's Catering says, best time to fly paragliding. Ooh, I bet that's exciting. I've never went flying. TDS Harper's in the house. Hello. Oh, Privyet, welcome. And then, I was going to say something else. It's been brought to my attention in the past couple years. There is a person out there, and I thought about making a video about this. I'm like, then I don't want to do that because I don't want to be negative. There's a person on Facebook and several other social media things going by the name Sergey Bout or Sergey Butt. And what most often happens is he sells somebody a harp or promises them a harp and then never makes it. And I've received this from some of his relatives saying, like, don't trust Sergey Bout. So I think Jaw Harp Entertainment was his page on Facebook for a while. But yeah, that guy has scammed a lot of people. But anyways, Boxcar Bet says we're getting another 30 centimeters expected of snow in southern Ontario, Canada. Oh, cool. Nice. Say the temp again, says TDS Harper. I'm guessing it's probably 15 degrees outside, but I'm not sure what it was. I opened up the door earlier, and it was cold, icy, blowing wind. I'm like, and a couple days ago, we got snow, or this week we got some more snow on top of some snow, and then it got cold, and then it warmed up for a day. It was like maybe in the 40s, so some of it melted, and now it's back, I think, into the teens at least. TDS Harper says, what's that, like negative 10 Celsius? Yeah, probably. I am Smiley says, sadly, still advertising also. Oh, you're referring to Sergey Bout. And yeah, I won't make any video coming out condemning him because I really don't want to make negative videos. But yeah, if you get your harps off social media, don't deal with Sergey Bout. He will take your money and not give you a harp. Lil Cesar says, I love playing the jaw harp, but you got any you recommend to beginners? If you go to theharpery.com, you don't even have to buy off theharpery.com. If you just go to theharpery.com, there's a beginner page of suggested beginner harps. And beginner harp is a harp that is affordable, easy to play, and has a simple learning curve. Some of the Glazern I would recommend, Pavel, Polk, and Vargan. Especially recommend the Zalagi River, which is really easy to play, fairly melodic, and really tolerant of plucking techniques. And it's got a really flexible reed in it. It's not the loudest harp, but yeah, that's the one I would suggest most to beginners. You can start with Glazern, Vargan. However, you're dealing with saturation, so it's kind of like when you're dealing with that much saturation, the harp's going to be loud no matter what you do with like Glazern and Vargan. So a lot of people will only play Glazern and Vargan, and they'll get off and they'll play another harp that's not saturated. Like, oh, I can't get anything out of it because they're not used to really working hard to replicate or really working hard to reinforce the overtones. Kind of like if somebody has never whistled versus somebody who whistles. You get good at making it really loud. So same thing with the jaw harp. Boxcar Betsy are sitting here at -5 to -10 Celsius. Oh, cool. Jaw harp says, cheerful greeting to lamellophonists. Yeah, I guess is the jaw harp a lamellophone? Is it a plucked idiophone? Something like that. I am Smiley says, Glazern are great for harps. Oh, yeah. Caesar's Catering and Eventos Cafe says, thank you for playing the jaw harp. It's a real helpy for the soul. Yeah, jaw harp is very therapeutic, not only to hear, but to play. One thing I have been seeing in the comments on YouTube is several people just in the past couple weeks have chipped their teeth on these. Stay away from the Snoopy harps. I used to play them and demonstrate them, but they transfer so much vibration. I really don't want to impart that to my teeth, so stay away from the Snoopies. Let's see, what else? I got the harp build I worked on today. Oh, got some harps back in the mail. Had some Bebs harps. This is back in 2017. I made 6 harps, and I was just starting up the Harpery. I didn't even have a .com yet. I was just starting up the Harpery on Facebook, and had an order of harps, and I had made some harps as well. And somebody from Canada's like, "Oh, we'll buy those harps from you." So they bought them from me, and then they had like 200 to 300 harps, and they were starting to downsize their collection. Like, are there any harps in my collection you'd be interested in? I'm like, oh, those 5 or 6 harps that I bought from you. So I did get some harps back in the mail to just travel back in time, 6 or 7 years back to 2017. The harps they're fun to play. They're just not melodic like they are now. I am Smiley says, I have one of Sean's first harps made. Oh, cool. Orchard Guy 80 says, howdy, love my Glazern harp. Thank you for the heads up about the Sergey guy. Been meaning to email you about harp offer, but okay. Sean Jones makes amazing harps. Yeah, this is one I made in 2017, and I was surprised. I'm like, wow, I really used to stress them playing really well in both directions. But that's the one aspect of the harp build I could control. I could get tight-ish gaps, but I couldn't get good melodic tone for the most part. So I'm like, ooh, I can make it so it's a lot of fun to play. Says, I have never played this instrument. Does it hurt to play? Like the toy ones, yes, they do hurt to play, but a good harp, if you want a harp that doesn't hurt to play, in my opinion, get yourself a Zalagi River in E. They're about $30, including shipping. Super, super flexible. I don't know where mine's at. Oh, and yeah, I do. It's clear over there. But yeah, super flexible instrument. That's the one I would suggest. It has a very, very flexible reed. Orchard Guy 80 says, my ADHD has been raging the last 2 weeks. Have you, Orchard Guy 80, have you been able to go outside much and get much sunlight and get much fresh air? Yeah, I'm not breathing. Do that. I'm just pushing my tongue to the roof of my mouth. And those are just the mouth shapes I'm making. It's been too cold to be outside very long here in Hutchinson. Yeah, I find that my mood and my effectiveness, like with my brain, is I'm less effective and logical if I haven't been outside and haven't gotten sunshine and fresh air and been able to move around. If I've been cooped up for a weekend, that can definitely put a downer on things. Somebody said, "Why do you want to play in both directions?" Okay, if you want to do fast bouncing styles, especially if you want to pluck fast, being able to pluck outward will greatly lend to that. However, on a lot of harps, you're not going to get as good as tone, and you will break a reed faster or deteriorate the reed faster by plucking outward. Especially if you're just plucking outward, you're not really harming the harp. But a lot of people try to get that loud thwack, and what they do instead of plugging with the instrument, they push down across, and when you push it, you start compressing it back here, and it starts to stress it. And you'll a lot of times see harps that are played outward break from this point to this point because of the way that stresses and loads that. Because like if you're just pulling it out, that's not really that hard on it. But when you start crossing across, and you can feel as you push a harp like this, it doesn't want to be compressed like that. So yeah, you'll get a stress point there. Michael Rainbow asks a question. That's not something that I would really discuss here, but I would also put into that same field of play using intentional breathing and using the jaw harp and using drums and using vibration and rattles and stuff like that to alter consciousness. That's my preferred method of altering consciousness or attaining meditative states, is with sound and music and breathing. Those are my preferences. Orchard Guy 80, did you say Hutchison? Hutchison in what state, dude? Oh yeah, same state, dude. Kansas. Yeah, that's the old 2017 Bebs. At the time I was making them, I was doing a lot thinner of a reed and also doing 1075, which isn't quite as hard as a spring steel. And if you watch the upcoming videos on jaw harps, I'm going to try to, or making jaw harps, I'm going to try to get one out per week. I'll be talking more about spring steels and everything, but I'm just starting the process of doing like an hour and a half worth of jaw harp building and then making about a 30 to 40 minute video out of it. So I think it's going to be a good comprehensive or more comprehensive video than I've done in the past because I know more about what I'm doing now than I previously did. Here's a jaw harp I made in 2020. Bassy. Now this is 1095.020. Boxcar Bet says, I've been to Kansas once for a work trip to Hutchinson 20 years ago. Yeah, I've went to Hutchinson. I've done I think two heating and air changeouts. No, one heating and air changeout in Hutchinson a while back, and then I also did a mini split system. I do heating and air work about 4 days a week. What is your drink? Says Rob Lay. This is there's a local store here where I live called Vita Villa. It's not a big corporate health food store. It's like a small mom and pop owned health food store, and I get my tea from there, and it's a English uh, English breakfast loose leaf, and all their stuff is like pesticide free and blah 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 blah. But I brew it in a Kyoto teapot, Japanese teapot. However, it's like a take on the Kyoto style. It's called a tea bloom, where I have this. It's a big tempered glass teapot, and then it has a giant mesh strainer that's about as big as the inside of it. So you put your tea leaves in there after you have it come up to temp, and you just heat it up on your stove. And then I'll put my strainer in there with the tea leaves in there and let it soak, and then pull it out and then make tea out of it. And some teas like this English breakfast, I get 2 tea runs out of it. I get an initial tea run, and then I get a secondary tea run where I reuse those leaves and let it sit for longer. Yeah, I get basically 64 ounces of tea out of 3 tablespoons of tea. Hamster of the apocalypse says hi. Orchard Guy 80 says, yeah, we're not too far from each other, almost in neighboring counties. LOL. Oh, cool. Let's see. Good work, tea. Last few hours. Yes. My other favorite is Yaupon Holly tea, which is the indigenous tea of North America. Yaupon Brothers, their American green is really good. You can go to yauponbrothers.com and get some. I'm not paid to say that, but I love that tea because it's unlike the black teas that I drink. There's no tannins in it, so there's the Yaupon Holly. There's no tannins or bitterness to it, like you would. It's a less finicky tea than like the English browns and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm not a tea connoisseur. I just like tea. Let's see. Let's play another harp. Let's play a harp from 2023. Another bassy harp. This was a 1095. Is when I switched over to the Jaw Harp Johnson, the 4-bend pattern, which is what I'm building in that video. And if there's any videos anybody wants made, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to branch out and do some different things. The Jaw Harp video, I think it's going to take 12 weeks to complete. I might do it in 6. I don't know. We'll see how much time I have. I got to, in the future here, I've got to start preparing and getting all the documents around for capital contributions and for taxes for the harpery and everything. So that'll take a good, a good 3 to 4 weeks for me to do. Boxcar Bet says I'm drinking a cappuccino. I have an espresso machine because I'm a coffee fiend. I'm actually going to drink. I'm very caffeine sensitive, but I'm actually going to drink some coffee tonight as me and my wife watch a movie. I made some coffee beans with lion's mane in it, grown by our local company, Shroom Mates, who grows mushrooms here in the area. The lion's mane. I have their coffee, and then I have it upstairs in the refrigerator in a French press. And then it's cold right now, so I'll pour that over some ice with some milk, and then I made a simple syrup out of dark brown sugar. I'll be able to stay up pretty late playing that or drinking coffee. I'm hoping to stay up till 3 a.m. because I'll probably watch a movie with my wife until about midnight, then come down here and jam on the harp a bit. Lots of Reed talking videos, please, says I am sorry. Oh, cool. And this video series, and the first one's going to air next Saturday. Each one's going to be 30 to 40 minutes long. Things are going to be done in depth. I'm not going to edit much out. I did shut off the camera for a bit while I was honing the other side of the decks for the jaw harp I was building. But yeah, there's a good amount of the work in there that's shot from overhead perspectives. And then there's a good amount of talking too. That sounds tasty. What kind of mushrooms? I never thought to combine that. Oh, lion's mane. Lion's mane is a mushroom that's a good anti-inflammatory, and it's good for your brain and good for cognitive function. Me, my wife, my son, we all have lion's mane every day. Yeah, lion's mane is good in coffee. Then there's some other stuff that they have, like reishi mushrooms and all these other types of mushrooms. I really enjoyed, they had to close for a while because they're moving location, but they still have their dried mushrooms available. I really enjoyed for a while getting fresh oyster mushrooms and fresh black pearl mushrooms as I cut them and simmer them in butter, and they're kind of almost like a bacon. Alice says, yes, my favorite jaw harp YouTuber live. Oh, nice. I like the enthusiasm. Welcome, welcome. And this is a jaw harp Johnson from, I think it's around A1 sharp. I left it untuned, but from 2023, I believe. Or maybe it's 2022. Yeah, 2022. And Smiley says, I like them all at one point or another and worked at a few big commercial farms. Oh, cool. Oh, namaste. Vera Ram is joining us. I think I've got a Vera Ram, or at least your father, Gorkaram, handy. We'll play a Morchung next. This is one I built. And actually, Gorkaram has I sent him a harp a while back. I just sent Boxcar Betts a harp. I made serial number Jaw Harp Johnson serial number 4 Jaw Harp, and then the person I made it for, I couldn't get a hold of them via their provided phone number. Couldn't get a hold of them via email. I'm like, I don't like selling Jaw Harps anyway, so I'm like, I'm gonna mail it on up to Boxcar Betts, see what he thinks of it. And this is where I switched over. I started doing really rounded trigger shapes. I find it good for flowing either direction. But when I put it up against the harps I used to make, the teardrop oftentimes throws easier because even if you throw too far across, there's nothing to catch. Whereas the perfectly round trigger loop, where I'm just using loop making pliers, you can catch a little bit. But I always really well take 1000 grit sandpaper and smooth that because you don't want any zinging. You can get zingy off your triggers. If your trigger has a little bit of roughness in there, you'll get a, this one doesn't have it, but you get a little zing, 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 and you can hear it. I can feel it in my ears and my jawbone when that happens. So I always be sure to get these really smooth. Now, if you have a tuned instrument, if you're doing any abrasion or sanding, you're going to raise the tone of it. So keep that in mind. Boxcar Betts says, and amazing. I love it. Oh, cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. I put a lot of symbolism in that harp. Any harp I build, I try to put phases of the moon when I work on it and like kind of what's going on outside and things for meditation and things that I'm feeling. Oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Let's see. Orchard Guy 80 says, Namaste, my Gorkaram Titleist draw start is a heavy jammer. Really get going on it. Oh, yeah, dude. If you have a draw start harp, especially like Gorkaram jaw harps, when they do have draw starts, they like sips. It's almost like sipping. It feels like you're drinking a drink. You can really get lost. And plus you're breathing more air in and you're having to breathe more air out to equalize things. You can really get lost in the breath. We're going to wrap it up. I'm going to play one more harp. We're going to go on over to Rajasthan, India. Here is Gokaram, the father of Viraram, who was actually commenting on this feed. Anyways, I love y'all. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Make sure to keep your harps clean. Keep them dry and keep them well. But most of all, be good to each other. I love y'all. Harp out. Job Quinn says, how many chipped teeth do you have? This tooth I chipped twice. Not on a jaw harp. It was on a trampoline when I was a kid. Yeah. One tooth chipped twice, not on the jaw harp. Love y'all. Harp out.